Everybody needs to calm the down.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the member's best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
So, before I start the video, there's something I forgot to add, so I'm adding it now. Leading into the tentative agreement, it's been literally the biggest roller coaster I've ever seen. It was like, okay, we're going to hit the streets. Okay, we're coming to agreement. We're hitting the streets, coming to agreement. It's been nuts. So, to hear today that we came to a tentative agreement was actually very shocking to me. When someone texted me, I was like, bull. So seeing that has happened is a little bit of a shock, especially through all the people I talked to. I was not expecting it. But I guess it's, for some people, a sigh of relief. Anyways, let's get into the video. What is going on, everybody? So today, you already know this man. I don't need to introduce him again. But Greg, I appreciate you coming on today. We're going to be doing kind of like a different type of episode. You know, this, for one, I usually never upload on Tuesday, but we had some big news pop up. So we are kind of doing it off the cuff, you know, what we think of this thing. And I asked for your opinion, so I'll be going through some of those. And we have some other little details we'll provide, but with that being said, let's just kind of get into it, Greg. As far as the details that have been released, do you want to kind of go over them real quick?
Yeah, so the what we were told today, I'm not going to go through everything we've heard already, but you know, the part-time and full-time, what we refer to as general wage increases, are going to be $7.50 over the life of the contract. That's total. And the initial jump in that, which is what will take place this August 1st and retroactively after we vote on it, is going to be $2.75. You know, leaving another $4.75 for the remaining 4 years. That's what we call the general wage increases. Then beyond that, there's all kinds of stipulations for the part-timers, depending on their current pay and their seniority status, how many years of service they have. Anyone who is currently below $21 an hour will either go up to 21, or they will get the $2.75 raise, whichever is higher. So if you're at $15.50, you go to 21. If you're at $19 or whatever, you're going to go up to 275, or you're going to go up to 21. But if you're already at $20, you're going to go up to $22.75. And then everyone will get the general increases from there. People starting after this contract goes in place will start at 21, and they will go up to 23 by the end of the contract. And then there's additional, what I guess we would refer to as catch-up raises for seniority people that are up to $1.50, an additional $1.50 an hour. That is also going to depend on how many years of service you have. To my knowledge, there are three tiers of that, either 50 cents, $1, $1.50. I don't know what the tiers are exactly, but that's the information that I have. So, you know, depending on where you're at, you could be going up immediately anywhere from, you know, $5.50 to a senior part-timer, you know, going up 4 and change immediately with the additional raises. But I think the main purpose, you know, without all the specifics that we don't have yet, is that everyone is getting pretty significant raises across the board, some immediately and certainly over the life of the contract.
All right. And as far as receiving a tentative agreement, let's back up for a minute, because we got a bunch of new people here that may not even know what a tentative agreement is and what it looks like and how we're going to receive it. So let's talk about that.
So when it gets released, if they release it online in advance, which I'm assuming will happen, or when you get it in the mail, which you will do, it will come in sort of a side-by-side format, where on one side you will have the prior language that was changed, and then you will have the changes next to that, so you can compare the two and see what's different. Until we get that, we're all really just looking at sort of the Cliff Notes version of what the agreement is. And I would strongly encourage everyone to take a deep breath and relax. We are not voting on this tomorrow. We have plenty of time to vote. We will all have a copy to go through. There will be plenty of debate and discussion. Every local should be having a meeting where they go over those changes and explain them. But it's very important to understand that what we are seeing is a very probably quickly written summary of an agreement that was put out, as soon as possible, and is not specific and is not contract language. And, just to give folks an example, some will remember who were around in 2018, when this type of highlight reel came out in 2018, you will remember that 22-4s were described as a full-time hybrid driver position that was going to eliminate excessive overtime for all regular package car drivers, right? And that was how it was described. And then once we actually got the language, clearly we all knew and saw that that was not what it was, and that was not how it was going to work. But we didn't know that until we saw the actual language. And so the difference between the summary and the highlights that you're getting now and the actual language can be enormous and can make a huge difference. There are stuff, I guarantee, that has been agreed to that's a part of this agreement that hasn't been listed in the highlights. So those of you who are very concerned about pension and other things that you're not seeing, that does not mean they're not there. So everybody, please relax. Be patient. We will have plenty of time to get this information, digest it. All those of you who are screaming vote yes, all those of you who are screaming vote no, are equally incorrect at this point. There will be plenty of time for that in the future. Everyone will have time to make their own personal decision. And so there's no need to be panicking, and there's certainly no need to be attacking one another or whatever else. We can't debate contract language if we don't have contract language. And so until we get it, this is just a summary of what it is, and everybody should relax and wait until we get the details.
So for those who don't know, the voting begins August 3rd and will conclude on August 22nd. Well, all right. So to be fair, I did get a lot of comments off of the YouTube short I put out today. I appreciate everybody commenting. And off the cuff, off the riff, and glancing through this, there's a lot of people already saying they are not interested in voting yes on this thing. They want to vote no on it because a lot of it has to do with the economics, the pay. I know that Greg here just said that, it's a little too early to be jumping to that conclusion. But a lot of these are full-time drivers, and they were honestly expecting a lot more out of this contract. Now, and this is just my opinion of it, everything just depends on your expectations of things, right? We were, told a lot of things, but not given specific details, so people have what they think in their mind what it's going to be, and then they see it, and their expectations aren't met. And I think that's a lot of this, but just reading through some of these, unless the progression is lowered to 2 years, I'm voting no. So I've seen that a lot too, where people want to see the progression lowered. This comment, very easy, must read the contract and make a decision on voting yes or no. And I'm very much on the same page as that. Because to be honest with you guys, just like Greg just said now, the 224s were sold to us as one thing, as being this way of never working over 9/5 ever again. And then when we actually read the contract, it was actually just a 2-tier driving job, and we knew it was bogus when we read it. It's a real thing, you know, for anybody that's new here. I highly suggest, listen, we're going to be covering on this channel, and I don't want to be pushing the channel into somebody, but yeah, we're going to be going through this stuff very detailed because of what's happened in the past. And as far as if you're not going to read this, like if you're not going to watch us, at least go through it and read it yourself. You know, and I'm not trying to throw any mud on anybody, because I do believe the negotiation committee tried their hardest when it came to this stuff. I do believe they worked as hard as they possibly could, but at the end of the day, us as members, this is the contract we're going to have to run through, what we're going to have to work through. And so it's up to us as members to watch over each other when it comes to this stuff. It's just the way it is. But anyways, let me go through some more of this stuff. $7 after 5 years, LOL. How much will stuff cost then? $1.50 raise for us longtime part-timers. That's not enough. It should be at least, or at best, $4 to $5 raise for us longtime part-timers for sure. I've been at UPS 18 years and started at $8.35 an hour, and I'm around 25 an hour now. And the new people that are coming in at $19 an hour here at Reno, Nevada, that's garbage. It's only a few dollars less than what I'm making. It's not even a raise if you look at the time I put in. So he's voting no, no, no. If they had no change in the 9/5 language, it's a hard no for me. And they also need significant pension raises, or that's also a hard no. Excellent day for us. Finally, we get a piece of the pie. Hopefully, I go to work tomorrow and my coworkers do the job. I'm tired of helping out lazy people. Union means to do it better. Sorry. Union means to do it better. Thank you, Teamsters. This one is basically saying everything is a rumor until it's in writing, and even suspicious. When I get it in my hand, I'm going to go through it article by article and voting at home on each article, so I know what I agree and disagree with, and then make a decision. That's exactly what we're doing on this channel, so appreciate that. I'm voting no because no progression change. Seen that a few times. Here's the vote. Yes, hell yes. We have gotten more than one agreement, and we have 2 contracts easily. You know, I got a comment here. People are upset that they thought the cameras were going to be removed, and it's just now the inward-facing cameras. Leaning no if I don't see any real overtime protection. I've been working way too many hours. I've heard this, and this is depending on building to building of where you're at. There are buildings out there that right now in this heat, people are working 12 to 14 hours a day, which is absolutely ridiculous and dangerous. Some buildings, you know, they're getting 8. It's bizarre. So, yeah, I mean, right now, digging through these, a lot of people are wondering about the pension. And then there's a lot of people that are kind of middling in the middle, waiting for the contract to be released. Seeing a few vote yeses. I think a lot of people are pushing no vote, but also you got to keep in mind that the people that comment and the people that are invested in this stuff and are on top of it are not the normal everyday person that comes in, takes a board, does their job, goes home. I get hit up all the time by so many people in the morning. What's going on? Even though they know I have a YouTube channel and they can easily go to it, it's because they are not as invested in this stuff as probably everybody watching this right now. So those are the people I really want to know their opinion on all of this. Greg, before we close this out, I mean, what's your final thoughts on all this?
My final thoughts are that people have to have some patience, and they have to understand that come August, whatever, when this is ratified or it isn't, or whatever the end result is, at some point we're going to go into work and we're going to be working under contractual language. And that's what's going to matter. No one is going to sit down in a grievance hearing or at a panel and point to the highlights that they were sent via text message on, July 25th or whatever. The language is what matters, and that is where the rubber meets the road, and that's what we have to wait for. And I would also encourage everyone to remember that the contract is a whole package. Unless there's some egregious piece of language like the 22.4, which I don't see any, or some major concession, which again, I don't see any. Each person is going to have to look at the contract in its entirety and see whether that contract as a whole is something they're willing to work under and that they think is satisfactory. And they're going to have to vote how they see fit based on that. And I think this sort of latching on to one expectation or drawing a line in the sand that if I don't get X exactly, I'm going to do Y, is really just not a great approach. Would you vote down a contract because you got 50 cents less an hour than your line in the sand, even though the rest of the contract, provided you with all kinds of things that you didn't necessarily demand, right? It's the question of whether it's a good contract overall and whether you believe it's the best contract we can get. And that's a decision that everybody's going to have to make as an individual. But you should make it based on what we actually have and what the contract actually says. And so I really wish and hope that people will get over this immediate excitement and panic and sort of step back and take a deep breath and wake up tomorrow and say, okay, let's wait and see what it actually says. And let's go through it and figure out where we stand and then make a decision. And, again, it's eventually up to us. We have the final say, and it's up to the majority this time. The majority is going to rule.
All right, everybody. It's the middle of the week. We got to work tomorrow, but I appreciate Greg coming on. I appreciate everybody leaving a comment, and we will be constantly doing these updates. I just want to reiterate that we as Teamsters, as members, are here for the membership. We get absolutely nothing out of this. I'm not getting YouTube revenue. This is literally, we are trying to do what's best for the membership. And I do appreciate everybody tuning in and being a part of this. So, we'll keep everybody in tune on what's going on, and I'll catch you soon. Later.